Hey everyone, it's Rihanna and welcome back to another video. Today I'm so excited to be talking about and reviewing Star Wars The Force Awakens, the 7th film in the Star Wars franchise, the film everyone has been anticipating all year. And of course this review is going to be spoiler free. I would hate to be the person that spoils The Force Awakens for you guys. I will do a spoiler filled review in the near future, but now we're sticking to non-spoilers. I just want you all to go into this movie with an open mind and just enjoy it, because in my opinion Star Wars The Force Awakens is the movie that Star Wars fans deserve.
There are stories about what happened.
It's true. All of it.
Force. It's calling to you. Just let it in.
Now it's kind of difficult to review this movie without going into spoilers, but let's just look at the facts we already know from what's been revealed by JJ Abrams, because this film was under so much lockdown that no one knew anything about this film going in, apart from maybe a few character details and maybe a few plot details going on in Star Wars The Force Awakens. So we follow Rey, who's played by Daisy Ridley, on the desert planet Jakku. She's a scavenger and she runs into John Boyega's character Finn, who was a First Order stormtrooper. The two become fast friends and begin their adventure, and on the way run into Han Solo and Chewbacca from the original trilogy of Star Wars, and this is where our new Star Wars adventure begins. I really cannot tell you anything more than that plot-wise without spoiling it. You really just have to go in knowing nothing. One thing I can tell you about though is the characters, and my favourite character by far in The Force Awakens is Rey, played by Daisy Ridley, and Daisy Ridley just does such a good job of carrying this film as her own. She steals the show in most of the scenes of this film. Rey is smart, complex, she has a lot of history, and she kicks ass in this movie, and Daisy Ridley plays her so well. She brings the innocence, emotion, but she also brings the badassery in Rey. I absolutely loved her character. And then we have Finn, played by John Boyega, who was a First Order stormtrooper, and you can just see the excitement beaming off John Boyega being in the Star Wars movie. He has so much charisma and he has so much chemistry as well with the other cast members, and especially with Daisy Ridley's character Rey. I absolutely love them as a pair. Not only is Finn charismatic, he's also a conflicted character, he's also a funny character, and I love the way that they portray these characters. Daisy Ridley and John Boyega do such a great job, as do all the other cast members, but these two especially. They just bring more life to these Star Wars movies. In the prequels we had such dry characters, it was hard to bear, and in this one they have just brought them back to life. And then we have Poe Dameron, who was played by Oscar Isaacs in the film, who was the best pilot in the galaxy, and he was so cool and sassy. He knew he was the best pilot, but he wasn't so cocky about it. He was just very assured in his character, and that's what I loved about him. The only thing about Poe Dameron though is I wish I saw more of him in the movie. He's definitely there, there's a presence, you see his personality in the film, but I just wish I saw more background from him and just saw him more as a character. And then we have BB-8, who is this little droid, and everyone was bursting about this droid. I mean, you have the classic droids C-3PO and R2-D2, who are so lovable in the originals and in the prequels. They're probably two of the best things about the prequels, actually. There was a possibility that BB-8 as a droid was just going to have too much of the cute factor, but I love the way they incorporate his humour into the film. And then of course we have the ultimate baddie of Star Wars The Force Awakens, Kylo Ren, played by Adam Driver, and this is one of the things in the movie that surprised me the most, at how intimidating and scary and conflicted and just plain evil Kylo Ren was. You see him do evil things and you know he has this power, but you also understand why he's doing these things. You understand his motivations and you see him as a human character as well, which makes him sort of relatable in a weird way. But you don't only see Kylo Ren as a villain, you also see him as a human and a character. You understand his motivations, you know what's happened to him. You see this person, and I just think that's what makes him 10 times better as a villain. And also Adam Driver does a great job with this character as well. I have to give props to him for making Kylo Ren so intimidating. And of course I have to talk about the original cast and the original characters, Han Solo, Leia and Luke Skywalker. Literally feels like Han Solo stepped on set and no time had passed whatsoever. He is back in action. He hasn't lost his wit, he hasn't lost anything. He is still the Han Solo we know and love, except 30 years has passed since The Force Awakens takes place 30 years after Return of the Jedi, and you can see that he's aged, you can see that he has been through a lot, and that is the same with General Leia, who's played by Carrie Fisher. The moments between General Leia and Han Solo are super special in this movie because you can see that time has passed and that they have aged and things have changed, and it gets quite emotional at points. And then of course you have Han Solo and his loyal companion Chewbacca, and their banter in this movie is so funny. They just keep it fresh, they keep it going. It just feels like a massive throwback to the originals. It feels like no time has passed, but everything is new mixed with the old. The only thing I didn't really like about the characters in this film is that I felt like some of them were rushed over, or I didn't see enough of specific characters. Like Poe Dameron, I love him as a character, he is super cool. I just felt like there could have been more of him in the film. And a kind of big issue I had with the characters was Captain Phasma. I was really excited to see the first female Star Wars villain. I was excited to see Captain Phasma and Gwendolyn Christie play her, but I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed in Captain Phasma's character. I don't want to go into spoilers, but that's all you need to know. And then we have Maz Kanata, played by Lupita Nyong'o, and they used the stop motion for her, and she looked really cool at points. The CGI for her face kind of got a little bit too much at points, but it's cool because I really like Maz Kanata as a character. Again, wish there was more of her. And then we have Supreme Leader Snook, who is the head of the First Order, and I can't really talk about his character too much, but as with Maz Kanata, his CGI kind of motion capture did get a little bit too much for me at times. Star Wars The Force Awakens has major nostalgia factor. It just feels like it's at home in Star Wars again with the originals. Like, the prequels don't exist. I wish they didn't, but they do. But it just feels like it's home again, and it's the film that Star Wars fans deserve. I would say The Force Awakens definitely brings the heart and the world of Star Wars alive again, and I'm so happy that it did. This film definitely brings in the old and the new. It has the spirit of the originals, it has some of the characters from the originals, and it also has kind of some of the plot lines from the originals. You're gonna watch this movie and you're gonna think, ah, I remember that from Empire, or I remember that from Return of the Jedi, and yeah, things like that do happen in the movie, but they aren't the main plot of the movie. It kind of happens in passing, but it needs to happen. Saying that there are familiar plot points in this movie from the previous original movies does not stop it from being a new adventure. I think this will surprise fans a lot. Much like with some of the characters, this film does brush over some plot lines quite quickly, but this film shows and doesn't tell. It's not all exposition, it's action. It keeps going and going, but there are scenes where you have to stop and breathe, and there are a few of those scenes in this film, but they just keep it so entertaining for you to watch. I was half surprised and not surprised at the amount of comedy that is in Star Wars The Force Awakens. As I know from J.J. Abrams' previous films, Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness, they have great humour in them, and in Star Wars it works. The humour is hilarious and the on-running jokes are great, but for me personally, some of the humour did get a little bit tedious after a while. Although I found it hilarious and although it does work in this movie, I think some of the jokes just went on a little bit too much. It was kind of joke after joke after joke, and for me it kind of got a little bit overwhelming, but it is so enjoyable and hilarious to watch. Yes, this film has comedy, but it also has serious emotional scenes in it when it needs to, and in those scenes you are just sat there fixated on screen and you're getting emotional. I went through every emotional stage while watching this film. This is basically my reactions to Star Wars The Force Awakens. Let's talk about J.J. Abrams as director. As we all know, he's a huge Star Wars fanboy and he put so much love into the production of this movie, from the practical effects to the visual effects, which look gorgeous. Like, the battle scenes in this film are super epic. Everything stylistically, everything technical with the music, and the score by John Williams, which is fantastic by the way, is done so well. And not only that, he knows how to work with his actors and he knows what he wants from their comedy or their emotion, and he knows when to have a serious scene in this film. J.J. Abrams just brings the whole package, and I couldn't have seen anyone else doing this apart from him. As I said, the practical effects and visual effects in this movie are perfect and they are epic. They make the battle scenes super immersive and you just want to keep going in this world. You just want to keep watching and watching and watching, and you just do not want this movie to end. It's not just a great movie, it's a great Star Wars movie as well. It has characters you want to root for and that you like. It has epic space battle scenes, and the lightsaber scene is so good. You saw it in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. But oh my goodness, so good. It has the comedy, it has the heart, it has the nostalgia of the original films, and it has perfect filmmaking from J.J. Abrams, from the cinematography to the score to the special effects and visual effects. It is just the whole package, and I love this film so much. I can accept this film for being great and amazing, but also having flaws. I mean, what film doesn't have flaws? I've already pointed them out to you, but those flaws didn't disrupt my viewing and experience with Star Wars The Force Awakens. I love the film, I absolutely love it, and it really didn't ruin it for me whatsoever. I know you will probably have tickets to the first screening of Star Wars or over the weekend or whatever, but seriously, if you're not planning on going to see Star Wars The Force Awakens, you should be. I'm going to be giving Star Wars The Force Awakens an epic win. I'm literally about to go see it right now, and I cannot wait for me to go see it again and for you guys to see it for the first time. Great characters, great action. JJ Abrams, thank you for this movie. If you like this review of Star Wars The Force Awakens, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be bringing you lots more movie reviews and TV reviews very, very soon. As usual, all my social media links, including my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and Letterboxd, will be down below in the description. Cannot wait for you guys to see this movie, but I have to go see it again. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you very, very soon. Bye!